Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Precise presentation on 7 ways to elevate your practice's social media marketing strategy. My name is Fanny Barrientos, and I am your presenter today. Before we get started, I'd like to go over some housekeeping. First, in your GoToWebinar panel, you have the option of asking questions throughout the presentation. Please feel free to ask any questions throughout the presentation, and I will actually be answering those questions at the end of the presentation. So if I don't get to your question right away, just know that I will toward the end. Also, this presentation's recording and the slide deck will be available within a business day or two and emailed to you. So if you missed something or didn't quite catch anything or something that I said, then just know that you'll have that available to you within the following business day. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, let's talk about social media. Social media is a powerful marketing tool for today's dental practice. 78% of adults are on social networks. And so it's a way for you to keep current patients educated and engaged. You can expand your network and increase referrals, and it's great for better targeting at a lower cost than traditional advertising. So why do dental practice still hesitate to be on social media? Well, some of the feedback that we've gotten is it's a time commitment. It is. And there's uncertainty around if it'll be successful or quote unquote worth it. And some people just simply don't understand what it can do for the practice. And that's okay. That's why we put this presentation together for you. All right, so let's go over those 7 strategies you can use. The first is going to be share valuable content. So what does that mean? In order to be shared or liked on social media, your content has to be engaging and useful. So some content ideas that are engaging that you could use are updates about your practice, promotions or specials, change of office hours, especially around the holidays. If your dentist is out on vacation, you'll want to post those. Educational blog articles, before and after photos, especially those really emotional before and after videos. Those get to people all the time. Community events you're involved with, third-party articles or newsworthy clips that your audience would find interesting. So, for example, anything on like how to treat a baby that's teething, any tips that you might be able to provide, those would be interesting to new moms. Just ensure that your content catches eyes with and has visual appeal. So the use of images and video is very important. Actually, social media, the algorithms within social media are more likely to show posts that have visuals within them. So if you're just doing text posts, then you're limiting yourself and not all of your audience is seeing that post. And consistency is key. So post frequently and often, set a schedule on when you're going to post so that way your audience knows that they can interact with you and expect content from you. And then also utilize a consistent tone of voice. All right, the next thing is going to be post polls and ask questions. So whether you're using the native feature on social media to create an actual poll or on Twitter, or just asking a question, the reason why that's engaging is because people will want to interact with it. And so it'll allow you to gain feedback and encourage interaction with your followers. So some examples of questions that you could ask, you could ask what time of day is best for your dental appointment. That could be valuable information for you. What cosmetic dental services are you most interested in learning about? Some people, may be interested in veneers but don't really know how to get started, so that might be interesting for them. Or something just as simple as like, do you use a manual toothbrush or a power toothbrush? Or, what types of reading materials do you like to have available in the reception area? What types of magazines? Just questions like that. Anything you could come up with, position it as a question and post it. And then one thing that you can do as well is use emojis in here. So, a thumbs up. These are referencing reactions on Facebook. So a thumbs up, one like on Facebook, that's somebody voting that they use a manual toothbrush. And then a heart equals power toothbrush, and somebody would react with a heart. And that way just makes it's very, low threshold for somebody to like or heart a post. So that way you have your count and you can get people to engage with you. All right, so the next is going to be to enhance your profile on social media pages. So oftentimes when I used to work with a lot of our dentists is I would see a completely blank Facebook page, possibly a photo or two on there that, didn't really tell me much about the practice. So one way that people can really tell who you are is by optimizing your business page. And what that means is after you've created your Facebook business page from your personal Facebook profile and you've chosen local business as actual category as the type of business page that you want to have, you add details about your business, such as contact information. That's very important. It's going to be front and center of your business page, location and hours, and then write a short description about your practice so that people get to know you. Also ensure to provide a website URL to drive traffic, and then include imagery that is similar or complements your website's branding. And if you're a ProSites member, typically those will be provided for you if you purchase SEO or social media. Just note that incomplete profiles do come off as unprofessional and make it look like you simply forgot to complete different parts, so try to fill out as much as possible. The next thing is going to be, recommend that you respond to everyone. So really that just means you want to stay active. So always like and comment back to someone who interacts with your posts. It could be with general posts that you make or with reviews that are left. Basically what it does is it validates your audience and keeps your audience engaged. And then answer public and private questions in a timely manner. And Facebook actually has a feature where it'll let people know how quickly you get to their messages. Obviously, it won't publish any private messages that are sent to you from that person, but it will tell people like an average rate, your average response rate. So if you get to it quickly within an hour, that's, you're considered a power user. And what that does is it actually tells people that you're open, you're available on social media, and that's a great way to get in touch with you. Um, and so, the next thing you're going to want to do is utilize the Facebook reviews feature. So you guys all know that Facebook has native reviews, and the overall is displayed first. So proactively asking for positive reviews is key. So if you have a couple of negative reviews, that's fine. It'll average out. So if you have more positive than negative reviews, your average will usually be a little higher. And then you can react and comment to reviews just like any other post. And regardless of what is said, thank all patients who leave a review, as it shows that you monitor. And if you get a negative review, respond quickly and then try to take the conversation offline as soon as possible. So you can either provide a phone number or an email address where they can contact you, but try to reach out to that person yourself before responding if you know who that is. All right, so the next thing is to reserve your practice's name across all social media channels. So in order to do this, you're going to want to, one of the ways to do this is to just go through the top social media channels and just, create a profile with your practice's name. You're going to want to display your practice name on all social media platforms. So, there are character limits, so just try to get it in there as best as you can, and then upload your logo and images of you, your staff, your practice, and then maybe usually a cover photo that matches your website for branding purposes. Remember that any platform with your practice's branding should be used for professional posts only. So anything that you post on social media as the practice is, you're going to want to reflect a professional tone. That means don't share any controversial opinions. It doesn't really matter what side of it you're on. You're not going to win. Or don't post any personal photos that are relevant to the practice, and then stick to relevant information that will engage your audience. So, that doesn't mean that you have to be serious all the time and talk about dentistry all the time. You can talk about your staff and, milestones from your practice or milestones from your staff or birthdays, and that's okay because that's all, your staff is your practice's face and you want people to get to know you. But, throwing in, a picture of your cousin's birthday party is a little random. So that's what we're meaning is just don't treat it as your personal profile as well. All right, search hashtags for post ideas. So the reason why hashtags are valuable is because they are used to categorize posts. So you can actually search to see what other people are asking and saying about dental/oral health topics. And you can use it for inspiration to create some of your own content or to share that content if you find it interesting. It really is a way for you to curate what you may want to post or comment on yourself. And then also on the flip side, you're going to want to include hashtags on your own posts in order to maximize social media content. So some tips on hashtags, they can't include any spaces or symbols. So, capitalizing the first letter of each word makes it more legible. You don't always have to do that, but if you're using a particularly long hashtag, it's a little helpful to sort of understand what it is you're saying. And then you're going to want to encourage, if you're running a contest or if you really want engagement, you can encourage patients to use a specific hashtag um, when they tag you on your post. So for example, here, this patient tagged, a dentist in McKinney, and then added teeth whitening, Hollywood Smile dentist. Um, and so you're going to want to use hashtags like those to maximize visibility. All right, and then next you're gonna want to use dashboards and analytics to measure success. So this is really where you can understand whether or not social media is working for you and what it's doing for you. Know that you're not necessarily looking for patients to be brought through the door right away. It's social media is more of the long game where you want to engage with current patients and keep yourself top of mind for them so that when people ask for recommendations, you're top of mind and they can just jump in and recommend you right away. So, one way that you could track that, whether people are talking about you, whether they're tagging you, how often they're liking you, all of that, is through dashboard analytics. So, all social media platforms are going to have a built-in social analytics dashboard where you can learn how people are engaging with your content. And so by measuring those analytics over time, you can tell what's working and where to improve. So, if you want to see how much people are engaging with you, you're going to look at likes, shares, reactions, comments. You can also look at click-through rate to get an idea whether someone is clicking through to your website. So if you happen to write an article and on your blog and you post it on social media, you share it on social media, you can then look at dashboard analytics to see if someone has clicked through to that blog article in order to read more. Just know that reporting and gathering data is an ongoing commitment. With the built-in dashboards, you'll be able to see most of your analytics. You can go as far back as, I believe, a year, but you'll really want to get familiarized with what the different metrics are and which are valuable to you. And then once you've figured out what those are, you can study trends over time to learn more about the audience. So one thing to keep in mind is that social media marketing isn't a fad, and you probably know that if you're here. So it is here to stay, and it will continue to grow, and it will continue to evolve. Like a year from now, we'll probably be talking about VR, to be honest. So it's not going away. So just keep in mind that posting on Facebook and sending out twists a few times a year just isn't enough. You have algorithms working against you if you are inconsistent. Social media algorithms are less likely to display your content if they don't think if you add any value by, sporadically posting content. And then what that means is that you'll need a long-term plan designed to engage your audience and gain more followers. And social media is about building relationships. It's about building relationships, like I said, with your current patients, so that whenever someone asks for a recommendation, like what you see here, this is from my own, personal Facebook feed where my friends are asking for recommendations in a particular area. And you can see here that 5 people that they are connected to recommended 5 different dentists. So if you build that relationship with your current patients, then they're more likely to recommend you like you see here. And then other thing to keep in mind is don't give up just because one social media platform didn't work out for you. That's okay. It happens. Sometimes it just means that you need to put a little bit more work into it. Go to your analytics and see if you're getting any reach, which means that your posts are being shown to people. If not, then you probably need to adjust the type of content that you're sharing. And if you're not really getting any engagement, maybe try to mix in a few questions or polls, or just ask people to provide some direction within your post so that people know what sort of engagement you're looking from them. And don't give up. If you started on Twitter and that's what you're comfortable with and it's not really working, then don't be afraid to expand to like move to Facebook or Instagram. And just try things out, because it is a trial and error process, so you're not really going to know until you try one out. Okay, and as always, we're here, to partner with you if you need help with not just social media, but really anything within the digital marketing realm. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Okay, I'm going to go through questions right now, see what questions you guys had. Let's see, there's one question that's, should I have a Facebook or Twitter or website in order to get started? So my recommendation is, in terms of Facebook or Twitter, if you don't know which one to start with, I would recommend Facebook. It has a broader audience, so even if your demographic is maybe a little older or a little younger, then you're very likely to reach those people that you're targeting. Regardless of which social media platform you choose, I would recommend that you have a website, because a website is not only integral to a social media strategy, it's also integral to anything else, any other marketing that you're doing. So a website should always be your cornerstone that you build your digital marketing foundation on. Okay. All right. So looks like it was just that one question. So thank you guys all for joining me today. Like I said, you will be receiving this recording and the webinar deck so you can review anything that you possibly have missed, or if you just want to go back to review. But for now, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.